Everybody else, you're back. Welcome back to the Heezy Beezy. Sorry if I forgot to change titles or get anything else done. It's really a lot of buttons to push, especially when I'm trying to get my new projection system to work, export it to a format that works, upload it to the site if I can't get that work. Anyhow, if you've signed up for the Osmo Premium service, I've posted a couple sheets into the Slack chat there, which after a couple revisions, because it kept giving minutes to Jabari Bird, who's been a naughty boy, and Marcus Smart, who isn't with the team, so I had to go through a couple versions, but believe I finally finished up giving a list of every player there, what I expected them to play for minutes, and how many fantasy points I expected them to get. So we will see how that turns out. It's not going to be incredibly accurate. I'm more concerned about getting the minutes right. There's that being the independent variable and a little more predictable. The dependent variable of the actual production that comes out of it, is something we're all learning on the fly there. But let me re-hit some of the fine points to discuss here looking at this slate. First of all, some good news, two bits of good news in different ways. One, everything on FanDuel filled, which when you fill everything an hour beforehand on a Showdown slate and a Charlotte game, hopefully they will increase their offerings going forward, because again, we can only make as much money as they are kind enough to offer to us. Secondly, it looks like there will be some overlay on DraftKings, or at least not full payment. Again, overlay is defined as when they take in less money than they pay out. So for example, their main event has a $75,000 prize, and right now is taking in $69,150. Nice. So there's a chance it gets to 75, but it won't rake fully, which would have been 88,000, of which it would have pulled 13 of in rake with some fairly massive 15% rake there. So it's not going to rake 15%. It probably won't rake 10%. If I had to guess, it'll fill, but end up raking somewhere around 5%. So that's pretty nice. I never miss a spot, do you? When my wife beats my ass for being dirty and I clean up the kitchen with Windex wearing my little French maid's uniform, I better not miss a spot, or she knows how to lay it on me hard. So again, let's talk about a couple of things. The most relevant news, and I am keeping an eye on our Slack now, where I will attempt to first prioritize your questions. Hi there, Ernie. I've got three. I've got all three chats up in front of me. What about Tyson play? I think Tice will play. Looking at my projections, I think I projected him for 4 minutes. See, this is weird. The nice thing about being behind the paywall and everything would be you had to pay, see me, and no free shows was I could just say anything. I could be like, well, look at this, and now in theory I'm supposed to be like teasing, and I hate doing that. I've never really done that, so it feels weird. But I had Tice projected for a double-digit amount of minutes, but less than 15. Is that oblique enough? I don't know. I'm going to need some practice on being this mercenary shit. They're fairly crowded there. The room is more opened up in the backcourt than in the front court. I think they're going to play a lot of guys. Tice has a reasonable upside. Looked pretty good last year. You want to throw Tice out there, that's fine, but I think he'd be pretty, like, if you're building a lineup, I don't think I'm putting Tice in it. Again, the big news being that Brad, Genius Boy, has come out and said that he doesn't plan on playing anyone more than 20 minutes. So you're going to get the starters playing 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then the 6 to 10 guys playing 10 to 16, and then their two-way guys and various other guys playing maybe 10 or 12. Like, someone will be wildly off in my projections. Frequently, the guys who are just getting a camp invite, I project for 8 minutes. But frequently they get 4, and sometimes they get 17. Just shit happens where like, oh, I really want to see that guy who I took out of Western Arkansas remedial plumbing school. And it's very difficult to predict. And again, I'm following all the news I can and checking all the tweet deck things I can, although I need to refresh my updates. Thank you for the reminder. So yeah, number one thing is the Celtics said they're not going to play any of their studs 20 minutes. That means that in a vacuum, you're generally going to want guys on Hornets in an otherwise similar situation. Like, I think Kemba Walker and Nick Batum probably play 22 minutes. They could play 25 minutes. So James Borrego has come out and said that basically the first half is going to be sort of like a regular season game, and the second half is going to be much more experimental. He's not clear about what's going to happen in the beginning of the third quarter. I've looked for every comment I've found, and I will continue to do so as we speak here. And again, my friends in Slack, I am much indebted to your continued assistance, but should you come up with something and be so kind as to drop it in the Slack there, I would be happy to repeat it. But it hasn't been entirely clear what's going to happen with the beginning of that third quarter. He said Kemba, quote, might play into the third quarter. I'm guessing he does, and you get Kemba getting his normal first half shift, which tends to be about 15 minutes, and then his third quarter shift, which would normally be about 9. So maybe you get 24 minutes out of Kemba. There's a chance he doesn't play at all in the second half, because he said it's going to be more experimental, and he said might, though I do think he wants to see Kemba with some of those other guys. So I'm guessing you get Kemba at like 24 minutes. I'm guessing you get the other starters, probably with the exception of you get the other 2 and 3 starters. You get Lamb and Batum. I'm thinking getting north of 22 minutes. I like them both in the 22-minute range. The guys further down the roster, you know, Cody Zeller, they've said they want to take it easy on him. He says he's 100% and feels well, but with their comments on him and the superfluity of bigs they have running around that team, I think he comes in the low teens. 12, 14 is the most likely thing you get out of Cody Zeller. Now, he's going to play them with the other studs on this team, and you know, I don't hate him as a DFS play. I don't hate him in this matchup, actually. So I don't, but given the fact that he's starting also, and I don't know how well people follow the other news, I'm much less inclined towards Cody Zeller than I was earlier today. I would much rather play Guillermo Hernan-Gomez, who might have already been my favorite play of the day. But now we're getting Zeller only getting, we'll say 14 minutes. I don't think they want to play Bismack Biyombo, who they know pretty well, more than, let's say, 14 minutes. So conceivably, that would leave 20 minutes at center, and Hernan-Gomez might get all of those. There's a camp guy who plays a little center. Frank Kaminsky, they seem to want to play some more at the 5, so maybe Frank takes some time at the 5, so maybe you only get 15, 16 minutes of Hernan-Gomez, but he's also a very prolific scorer in his time. He is better than a fantasy point a minute guy. So there's a lot of, you know, studs on other teams where, you know, you're talking about, oh, I want to play Al Horford. All right, Al Horford might play 18 minutes and might score 18 fantasy points for a shit ton more money than you have to play for Hernan-Gomez. Is Tice in play? Yes, he's in play. It is a one-game showdown slate, so I'm just choosing my words carefully to make clear that I understand. If you ask if someone is in play, my answer, I take that as, in a tournament, if I play this guy, is it completely wrong? And it's not. I think Tice will play low double digits in minutes, but he could play 16 or 18. And he probably will only score 3/4 of fantasy point a minute, but he might randomly play 18 minutes and score 23 points and be in the ideal lineup. So if I'm building a lineup, is Tice in it? No. If I'm building 3, no. Generally, again, I'm avoiding Celtics as much as possible, so I'm only playing 1 or 2 Celtics a squad, probably. So, you know, but is he in play? Yeah, I wouldn't look at a line. I mean, to a certain extent, even in the preseason, no matter how much time you put into it, playing showdown slates is just pure gambling. Good luck, Chuck. Which is fine, especially if there's a little bit of overlay that makes life exciting. But you know, anyone who's acting like this is that much of a science is crazy. Give me a 9-game slate. Yeah, we can pull a value guy or 2 from each game, and I can give you a nice pool of 20 dudes that other people aren't going to look at. But yeah, 1-game slate is a little crazy. I would really like Malik Monk at 4,600. 4,600 is wicked cheap, and it's a game with Boston, so I'm using the appropriate adjectives there. But 4,600 for him is wicked cheap. He is a gunner and will shoot given the shots. There is some negative correlation with Guillermo Hernan-Gomez because one of those guys is going to take a butt ton of shots with the second unit. I don't care if you play them both because they're both cheap enough that, yes, they can get absolutely the fuck on top of their prices. But something else to think of there. What do I think about Frank the Tank? I would say I like him a little more than Tice. For a couple reasons. We're probably talking about DraftKings, so 3-point bonus, a little more relevant with Frank. He's on Charlotte and not on Boston, all else being equal. That's the way I'm going to go today. Although you can make an argument that's sort of neutral for the second unit guys, because if all the Charlotte starters are playing 22 minutes and all the Boston starters average 17 minutes, someone else on Boston is getting those minutes, so either the second or third unit would be thus advantaged. Marcus Morris, good BVP. I'm not even sure what that means in this context. It's a fine matchup. There's going to be some defensive lapses with the Charlotte team a lot. Like, there's a real chance. If I'm concerned about anything in its slate, it's that the Boston starters have a a net rating of plus 85 in 20 minutes together. That the Boston starters play their full 20 minutes, or maybe Brad was fibbing a little, and they play 22 minutes, and they just demolish a below-average starting unit on defense for this team. Like, it is not impossible you come away from this with Kyrie played 21 minutes and had 31 fantasy points, and Hayward played 19 minutes and had 27 fantasy points, and Charlotte just does drips and drabs and does enough of shit like that. That is possible. It is a one-game slate. I like Terry Rozier a lot. I think Terry Rozier possibly out-minutes Kyrie. The absence of Marcus Smart, I think, is a big fan. So if we'll just, I'm going to look at players on the slate, and I'm going to just start calling out names of guys I look at and go like, wow, I'm excited to play that guy in a tournament. Excited to play in a tournament. Terry Rozier, Guillermo Hernan-Gomez, Willie, as they say, Malik Monk. Like those are the three guys I am most excited to get into my tournament lineups. Now, unlike FanDuel, where it's just throw your best player on the top down, where it does the MVP, All-Star, whatever the hell ratings with ×2 ×1.5. No, Shane Larkin is no longer on the team. I don't think he's on any team. I think he's on the couch right now. Could be wrong. But if he's on an NBA team, I don't know of it. But no, Shane Larkin is not on the team. Batum or Lamb, more raw points. That's really close. I think Lamb is higher owned. I think Lamb is a better point per dollar value. Because I expect him to have roughly similar production, and I'm pretty sure he comes in well cheaper than Batum. So I don't mind either of those plays, but Lamb is a better point per dollar play. Lamb will probably be higher owned. I'd project him very similarly to Batum. Kaminsky's shooting was trash last year. Yes, it was. Regressed significantly. Even at the free throw line, I think he took a step back too. But again, one game sample size. He's going to make more threes for you than Cody Zeller, for example. Hernan-Gomez is our play over Zeller, right? Yes, if I'm only playing one, I'm playing that. I don't have an issue with Zeller. I mean, Zeller, I think, plays, let's say, 13 minutes and is probably good for 12 fantasy points for 4K. That's really not bad. 3 per 1 on this slate is good. Like, again, you should use a constant plus a modifier, but we don't have time for the algebra right now. But, you know, if Zeller gets you 12 for his 4,200, that would be the equivalent of Nick Batum, you know, at his, 8,400, getting you 27 or something. So, like, I can certainly see, like, he's probably your safest punt play. I'll rephrase it that way. But in almost any format, I'm going to play Malik Monk or Hernan-Gomez or both before I play Zeller. Also for the just the ownership. I mean, Zeller doesn't even have a tag or anything. So I still feel good about Kemba. Yeah, I still feel really good about Kemba. You know, I think this offense is going to work very well for him. So yes, I still feel good about Kemba there. But so those were the guys who jumped out and you know, I really loved. Chris Thompson or Dion Lewis. I'm trying to remember who plays who this week. Titans and Redskins. Who the hell do they play in week 4? Both going to be decent GPP plays and good matchups. Is it full PPR? I don't know. We'll come back to that. Who snuck in a football question? How many minutes will Irving get? I'll say 18. Or 17. I forget what I eventually spat out when I actually worked through what I thought might be shifts and rotations, which again is a lot of guesswork for the first game of the preseason. I'll be checking the exact moves after this game. These two teams play again Sunday, so we'll obviously have some more information then. Redskins on a bye. Lewis is on a bye. Thompson's on a bye. Okay, so Thompson's on a bye. Then I'll take Dion Lewis. Nice. FanDuel MVP spot. For me, my first lineup, I'd play Kemba Walker. He and Kyrie are my top 2 projected scorers, but I think you get the ownership bonus on Kemba and probably save some money. So Monk in the captain spot, okay. Monk on DK in the captain spot is fine. On FanDuel, it's not completely insane, though in a singular lineup build, it seems a little bit off. 85% Irving, too much on 20 lineups, FastEddieFear. No, I think I would have really high percentages of Walker and Irving because they do come with a pretty nice floor attached to them. And again, you know, it's a one-game slate. We don't have to get super crazy. You know, last night's Showdown slate in football was Aldrick Robinson and basically chalky dudes. you know, your winner here could be Malik Monk and Chalky Dudes, or, you know, Monk Hernan Gomez and Chalky Dudes. Like, there's much less mystery in the world when you're looking at just a one-game slate. So, and do please continue to tag me if you ping me so that I get the auditory cue in the basketball channel. Anybody captaining Lamb? I think that's fine. Would you captain Rozier instead? I don't. Any of the guys I like, I don't have a problem with as a captain, and it allows you some really interesting builds. If you captain Monk, you then can play like Irving, Hayward, Walker, Batum, and Guy, and you can really stack a lot of money out there. And if you get the Monk game, which is possible, Monk could play 18 minutes and have 23 fantasy points. That's pretty sexy. There's a weird algorithm I'll write one of these days that's going to talk about the relationship between the value of your captain and how tight the salaries are versus what's correct. Like, if the top scoring guy scores 29, the next 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, almost certainly your value guy is going to be your best captain because he'll be somewhere in the 20s, and you're only losing a couple points and you're saving a pile of money. If there's a guy who puts up 41 on the slate and no one else beats 27, then yeah, you needed that guy to be the captain. So he and MKG are both ready to play. People talking about Kemba or Kyrie in cash for MVP. I would play Kemba. Still like your Ojale projection. I haven't seen news that would make me change it, so I think I had Ojale projected for somewhere in the mid-teens, and I suspect that's about right. Won't get much of a boost because the two camp guys will pick up a lot of smart. Yeah, I think that's about right. It's not Slick Dick Willie, it's Sweet Dick Willie. Got to get it right there. Have the right amount of time and upside for a captain spot or just dumb. On DraftKings, I think Hernan Gomez is a great captain. Jane Larkin is in Europe. See, you guys tell me all the stuff I don't know. Batum or Tatum? I'm again going to play Batum. You ask me right now to project minutes based on what the coaches are saying. I have 22 on average for Batum and 18 for Tatum. And I think Batum is less owned. So I don't know how well people are paying attention. No, it's fine with that. But yeah, I think Sweet Dick Willie is a. I love that he actually edited his question in the Slack from Slick Dick Willie to Sweet Dick Willie. That attention to detail will take you far. Chances Monk is limited due to his pelvic injury. I don't know anything you don't know. Makes me nervous that they said he aggravated it yesterday, but kept him as probable. Hopefully people are harassing Twitter reporters. Is 4 Hornets and Rozier fine? Yes. It's absolutely fine. It's probably, that's on FanDuel, probably my ideal lineup would be something like that. I doubt I'd go 3 and 2. Again, I haven't looked specifically at the FanDuel prices. We'll be getting more time as things go on. He went through shoot around for what it's worth. Yeah, unless there's some, like, I would fully expect him to play. We're down to about 90 seconds, so looking into the last questions. FanDuel, 1 Celtic, 1 or 2. I can see either one. Can you play Lamb and Monk in the same lineup? Absolutely. They almost have nothing to do with each other. Monk's going to replace Lamb. Neither of them is going to play more than about 24 minutes anyway, so hopefully those two guys will constitute the majority of the point guard minutes for you. Especially with the news that Tony Parker won't play at all in the second half. I think there's a real chance Monk gets an extra shift as backup point guard, which he played some of last year. Ojale or Bacon, more FanDuel points. I'll take Bacon. Again, I prefer the team, and Ojale, while they're saying it'll be a little different this year, it's a bit of a black hole as far as fantasy production goes. Walker, MVP, Monk, Hernan, Gomez, Rozier, Batum. I think that's a fine line. Bridges or Wanamaker? I'd play Bridges. Wanamaker, I think, is more likely to see like single-digit minutes. So there was some extra upside opened up there with Smart not playing. But, yeah, I would definitely play Bridges. Favorite play under 6K on DK. I don't know if I'm going to have time to look that up and answer it in the 30 seconds or so we have. I apologize. I've got chat coming from 3 different sources. I keep missing your question. Fire it one more time. I'm staring for your question. Right now. Give me your question. Rank Celtics. In order I like them for tournaments, probably something like Rozier, Hayward, Irving. I don't know. I don't really like the Celtics. You can certainly play Horford, Brown, or Tatum. Certainly all those guys. But I think they'll be over-owned relative to what we can do. And we're live! Monk, Batum, Hernan Gomez, Irving, Lamb, Kemba Walker. 1,500 left on the table. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. Well, shit, I got Williams. You can play Bob Williams. Like, if I want to play someone on the Celtics team, I want to play someone who, like, I think he costs 2,400 or whatever the fuck. So, he's not 100%, and he's been in trouble, and I really think they start him off slow. So I think you're probably looking at 10 minutes of Robbie Williams there. You got Kemba, MVP, Rozier, Hernan Gomez, Lamb, and Williams. Yeah, there's going to be all kinds of overlap. Let me see. Hold on. Is this... Hold on. I've got... see if maybe I'm going to check my buddy's account and see if he actually created anything. Did he enter anything on FanDuel? You even watching? Yeah, ownership. I'm going to take a look at ownership. There are no live entries on FanDuel. Okay, let's check this. Go over to DK. Is there anything? There is! There are entries on DraftKings. There was some rake. It says right now each entry is worth $9.27. So it pulled a little bit less than half rake. It's pulling 73 cents out of a $10 entry, so 7.3% rake. That's well more useful than any advice I was going to give you. Maybe not in the preseason, but in general, half rake is just about as sexy as anything you're going to see here. So yeah, let's get ourselves some ownership. Ted DiBiase was right that everybody has a price and everybody's gonna pay. The $1 Million Man always gets his way. I'm just kidding. Kyrie Irving, 71%. No, Kemba Walker, 71%. Kyrie Irving, 60%. Read it backwards. I'm trying to get the thing here. I never know how to download this right. I would like to see... I can help... I would like to see... No, don't delete... Oh, fine. Alright. Kemba Walker, 71%. This is in the 75K, which I believe is the main event. Monk is out. Monk is outed at 2 minutes after. Oh, they're starting off the season with a bang. That will be truly annoying if that's the case. Monk is out. Just came in on all 3 channels. So made him probable, let him go through shoot around, and then took him out. Charming. I'll get back to the ownership in a second. I'm just confirming this most distressing news from some other source. I've got lots of available to play. Lots of available to play. Per Rick Bonnell. Okay, I'm following him. I don't know why I see it. 4 minutes ago. Ooh, he did it like 30 seconds before. Looks like he's a healthy scratch, not in uniform standing along the baseline. Figure this is a health precaution in the preseason after Monk missed 2 of 5 practices with a pelvic contusion. Well, really 1.5. Alright, not officially out, but standing in street clothes at the beginning of the game. Certainly not an exciting bit of news. That is a shame, as one of our favorite guys. Continuing to look at the ownership. It's going to be really annoying because look at the number we're going to get him at. 20%. Okay, I would have thought it would have been a little less than that. Kemba, 71. Kyrie, 60. Rozier, 55. Hernan Gomez, 53. That's a pretty smart populace. Now, in fairness, people watching the show are, in theory, up to like 25% of the ownership when the show is free. We were giant stacks of the ownership in the summer league, so we're making up a lot of that. 52%. Lamb, 47%. Tatum, 44. Brown, 36. Batum, 32. Horford, 22. Kaminsky, 21. Bridges, 20. Monk, 20. Marvin, 17. Hayward, 16. Hayward at 16 is pretty exciting. I like that. Zeller, 16. Marcus Morris, 11. Bacon, 8. Baines, 8. Tice, 8. Graham, 7. Biombo, 6. Ojale, 4. Wanamaker, 4. Bob Williams, 2. Tony Parker, 2. Gershon Yabusele, 2. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, 1. Hey. That was definitely a buzzkill. People were much more hesitant than I was, too. you know, that's certainly everything I heard made it sound like he was going to go. When you pull him and make him probable 24 hours in advance, and then he went through shoot-around, I figured he was good. But that's how that goes. It's a bit of a kick in the ass. So anyway, analyzing this ownership, this is a smarter field than I would have thought. You know, 71% Kemba to 60% Kyrie testifies to that in a little bit. Rozier being the third highest owned guy. Again, that's a bit of a name, and he's a Celtic, but at 6,800, that's a pretty exciting price. But also seeing 52% on Hernan Gomez. A lot of people remember how good he was in Summer League. Marvin 17, yeah. A lot of sources tweeted he was available to play as well. Yeah, well, available to play means basically the same thing as medically cleared. So he went through and, you know, after the shoot around 10 minutes ago, someone went, hey, does that hurt? And poked him in the dick. And he went, yeah, a little bit. And they went, you know, we want to play 18 guys tonight anyway. Why don't you wait? We can get a better look at Makura and Bacon and other guys. So where's Bacon? I'm curious. How much bacon? 8% bacon? Wouldn't mind shaking my bacon at this point. So that would have been nice. Well, yeah, I imagine we are over the board on the Malik Monk love there. So that's disappointing. But again, end of the day, hopefully one of us takes down the big prize. We did that about half the days in Summer League. Hopefully we get there again. But not as much as an advantage as I would have thought. Again, a lot of people watching this show definitely takes down our edge a little bit. And but still, Celtics are the number 2, 3, 6, 7, 9, so they're higher owned than they should be. Am I on tomorrow? Yeah, I'm gonna be on basically every day. I plan on doing a show. There are only 15 days of NBA preseason. Today is the 28th. The last game I think is the 12th. So 12 days of October plus the 20th, 29th, and 30th. For September has no more days. So it's 15 days of preseason. I'm certainly going to try to write and host everyone. Including tomorrow. I'll be back twice tomorrow. Or maybe one long-ass show. But I'm going to review all the teams we haven't reviewed so far, which is the entire Central Division. And we didn't do the Wizards or either Florida team today so that we could spend more time on this slate. So that's 8 teams to review. So conceivably that's a couple hours, and then I want to leave some time for the 2-game slate tomorrow. So I might do like a full 3 hours tomorrow, but so be it. I will be back tomorrow. Yeah, the Monk thing sucks. I don't know what to say, but it was one of my 3 favorite plays. Probably my 2nd favorite play. I would have liked Willie as my favorite play, and you know, had he played, knowing that I'd have Willie at 52%, I think it was, and Monk at 18, Monk probably would have been my favorite play on the slate. But yeah, Willie and Rozier are going to have to take it the rest of the way. But again, it's a showdown slate. Feel much more confident in guaranteeing results when we have 2 games tomorrow and 4 on Sunday. I think there'll be some more information to be pulled. So that said, thanks for everyone who hung around all day. Thanks for everyone who caught both shows. Those of you who assisted with the gathering of information, well done. I got to get my process up to date on that because apparently the first inklings that he was out came about 30 seconds before lock. Not much you could do at 30 seconds, but if it had been 90, that's enough time for me to read it, yell it out, and people to do an immediate late swamp. So, kept trying to ask me on the scope over under 20.5 DK points for Bacon. I believe I came in under that by quite a bit, but I will look up my projection for Bacon, which obviously would change significantly now. At the time, I had 15 minutes and 14.3 points. When you take Monk out, I would probably say something like 19 minutes and 18 points. So I would still take under 20.5. I'd say probably 18 fantasy points would be about my projection for Bacon. To answer your question, since you apparently asked it many times and I missed it, my projections are dope. You're in first right now. It's a funny guy, that Osimo. Funny guy. So, yeah. I guess that is about it, boys and girls. We'll keep getting better at this. Obviously, the process is going to get better. I'll do a better job at uploading stuff a little earlier. I got to get used to the new file formats and stuff we're dealing with. This is good. It's good that we have a sort of shitty slate to break our teeth in. So I will be back again tomorrow. If anyone has any further questions, send me a tweet. And also send me a tweet when you win all the money.